Hello and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Kashif Kamran and welcome to the Advanced Audit and Assurance Key Tips for Exams in March 2023, which is now just 24 hours away. Now, we're not learning anything today, or we're not exploring anything new today. The session is all about reinforcement of what you must have learned from me as a tutor in my regular online pre-recorded course or from my webinars or from my mock debrief. So I will not be giving you any new advices, any new tips which can distract you at this point in time. It's just about consolidating. It's just about reinforcing the key things we have learned as students from the course of your tutor, which you were enrolled in, and to wish you success and to motivate you ahead of your exams tomorrow. So welcome to the key tip session. Let's see the key tips. First of all, time management. Take it seriously. And because this is the major failing factor of the AAA paper. Even though this subject matter has been addressed many times in the prior history, but I believe this is a subject matter which needs reinforcement every possible time. How many of you take time management seriously, and what does it mean to take it seriously? That's what I need to discuss with. When you enter the exam hall and you open your computer-based exam, you have 195 minutes with you. And the utilization of that 195 minutes and the decisions and the judgments you take in that 195 minutes and how alert you are, how mentally present you are, would all count in terms of your success. Every one of you has 195 minutes. Some of you pass, some of you fail, because the AAA passing rates you're all aware of. So the student who takes the right decisions and follow the right approach will definitely pass. And that's where time management becomes a real serious issue. The question number 1 has 99 minutes. That's quite a good number of time. And out of that 99 minutes, 25 minutes are for reading and planning. I'll come to the importance of reading and planning time shortly, but I'm just looking at the overall time, 99 minutes. Wherever 99 minutes ends, stop. Don't even write an extra word. Don't even write an extra sentence. Don't even think about wrapping up the answer. No, wherever it ends, ends. Move on. Because moving on is better. Moving on is opportunities. Moving on is optimism. Moving on is success. At the end of the 99 minutes, if you say, no, let's take 10 more minutes, let's take 20 more minutes, you're getting towards failure, seriously. 99 minutes, whatever you've done, full stop, move on. Section B, start section B. Opportunities awaits you. More opportunities awaits you in the question number 2 and 3, A, B, C, and you can do better. But if you are overrunning time, which you do even after this advice from the tutor, you are creating a failure for yourself and you will regret on the day when the results are announced. Same goes with question 2 and 3, 48 minutes. I'll come to the reading and planning time. Out of the 48 minutes, 12 minutes are reading and planning. 48 minutes, question number 2. Wherever the time gets up, move on to the question 3. And that's the best approach you can take for time management in AAA. See, you might not be able to complete the whole question number 1 in 99 minutes. You might be left with a part. You might be left with a certain section. Leave it. If you cannot do it, fine, go on. You're not just the one. There are hundreds of students who might not be able to complete it. Move on to the question 2, then to the question 3. But don't be a worst student taking 130 minutes on the question number 1, 140 minutes on the question number 1, 110 minutes on the question number 1, because you're compromising the opportunities. You're compromising the opportunities which are awaiting you in the question 2 and 3, which could be easier than the part you're doing in the question number 1, which can be more scoring for you then the part you are doing in the question number 1, even the time has got up. So I hope you start taking the time management seriously tomorrow. You start investing in this time management seriously, because every question has an allocated time and it is to be done in that point in time. So please ensure, I believe there is a timer on the computer-based exams, which you can see in front of your screens. And there are announcements in the exam hall after a certain duration has passed in, and you are having your wristwatches. Be alert to the time, because this is the most serious advice I can give you, and this is the most productive advice which can help you pass the AAA paper. Will you follow this advice? Will you stick to this advice? Will you ensure every question is done within a time and you move on? Because moving on is success. Sticking to that one question and ensuring I complete this question, even I take extra time, is failure. So this is first, time management. And hundreds of students every exam sitting fail the AAA paper because they don't have an approach to time management. They don't have the direction to time management. So what can happen at the end of the day? Failure. Now, in this time management of 99 minutes, 48 minutes, and 48 minutes, there is an investment in the reading and planning time. And as I guided you in the mock debrief, as I've guided you in the March 23 webinar when I was doing questions with you, investment in reading and planning time is the key to quality answer and professional marks. If you want to get a good answer, the investment you are doing in the reading and planning time, 25 minutes in the question number 1, 12 minutes in the question number 2, and 12 minutes in the question number 3, that is the decisive factor between a student passing and failing. That is the decisive factor between a place winner and a non-place winner. Because if you have a good planning, which is evident on the word processor, and you have understood the requirement, you have segregated the requirements, you have copy pasted the materials from the exhibit for each requirement in 12 minutes, in 25 minutes, you're sitting back relaxed after 25 minutes are over. And then you're writing the answer in the remaining time. You have 99 minutes in the first question, minus 25 minutes. The remaining time is to write. You sit back, relax, and write the answer. And you've seen that in my mock debrief, right? You've seen that in my webinars, that how I used to read and plan, and how I used to get things on the word processor, and how effectively did I utilize the word processor as my reading and planning area. Yes, you need to remove the evidence of reading and planning after you wrote the answer. But I hope you all agree with me that the benefit of reading and benefit of planning plays a crucial factor. It's not just improving the quality of the answer. You are blending the answer with the case study. You are absorbing the case study. You are synchronizing the case study. You are connecting the case study with your answer. And isn't this all the professional marks? Case-specific answer, professional marks. You connect the answer with the case, professional marks. You are extracting the information from the case, professional marks. You are analyzing the information from the case, professional marks. You are exercising the judgment within the context of the case, professional marks. You are exercising skepticism in the context of the case. You are questioning the management in the case, you're getting professional marks. So the more you indulge in the case, the more you get into the case, the more the case gets into your answer, the more the case connects with your answer, you're getting the best answers for AAA paper. So please ensure that your investment in reading and planning time is worthy. You're all accountants, right? You will not do an investment which fails to offer you a good return. And this investment is offering you a super return here. This investment is offering you a super return, which is producing a quality answer. And that's what is the need of the time. You want to pass the paper. That's your objective. That's your goal for tomorrow. And to achieve that goal, to accomplish that goal, what you need at the end of the day, you need a careful investment in reading and planning time. So have you got this message from my debrief, which we ended today? Have you got the message from my webinars for March 23? Did I demonstrated the importance of investment in reading and planning time? So a lot of time, the student just focus on writing the answer. They don't read, they don't understand, they don't plan. How many times the examiner tells us, don't do this, do this? We have seen even in the mock debrief today, the note numbers of examiners. We ignore them. How many times there is a word add, A and D, and we ignore it? So have you got these lessons? But at the end of the day, the lessons have to be implemented to be successful. Uh, 24 hours away from your exams and you're listening to this key tips, I hope it is going in your mind and it's creating optimism. It's creating motivation. No, I'm not here to create fears. I'm here to create opportunities for you. So will you do this? Will you do a careful investment in reading and planning time? All of you. Okay, moving on to the next one. Get most of the 20 professional marks. I think I have been very critical in my March 23 March 23 webinars and in the mock debrief, which concluded today for March 23 mocks by ACCA. 20 professional marks. And I've given you breakups. I've given you the list how you can gain most. Obviously, there are communication skill marks in the question number 1. Putting the answer in the briefing note, structuring the answer in the briefing note, writing a proper introduction, following the instruction of the partner in the briefing note, what to do, what not to do, arranging the briefing note in the order of A, B, C, D, putting the conclusion in the briefing note where needed. And this is how you get the communication marks, putting the proper headings and the subheadings, like putting the heading of audit risk and the subheadings of the audit risk you find, or putting the heading of the business risk and the subheadings, putting the putting the ethical issues as headings and the subheadings like self-review, self-interest. So headings and subheadings are also part of communicating concisely and effectively. So at least the 4 communication marks should be 4 out of 4 for me. Then wherever possible, do calculations, wherever possible, do trend analysis, wherever possible, question the management accounting treatment, wherever there are estimates involved in the case study, connect it with the risk of management bias, question the management estimate, challenge the management estimate, exercise judgment, commercial acumen. When you are accepting a new audit client, commercial acumen will come in terms of your fees, in terms of client integrity issues. Should you accept a risky client? What fees will you charge? If you are accepting an engagement from an existing client, the fees you will be charging as part of commercial acumen. But yes, accepting an engagement from an existing client would also means lots of ethical threats. So you need to do the cost benefit analysis. Are ethical threats more severe to refuse the engagement? But if you refuse the engagement, there is a commercial implication of losing the income. So you need to exercise that commercial acumen mindset. In the business risk, when you're writing the business risk, you're writing the impact of the risk on the business, you need to have sound commercial acumen. You need to know that what will be the impact on the business. Will it impact the reputation of the business? Will it impact the profitability of the business? Will it fail to provide the return to the shareholder? You need to have acumen. You need to have sound business knowledge. Even in the reporting question we did today for mock debrief, we had commercial acumen as a skill that if you issue a qualified opinion, there is an implication of losing the client. The client will not be happy taking a qualified opinion from you and sit back, relax. The client would be thinking about who is the next auditor? Should I replace this auditor? So there is an acumen. Skeptical, challenge, management estimates, management treatments, judgments, materialities, comment on the materialities wherever possible, tell whether something is material and immaterials, do the calculations, do the trend analysis, try to write a case-specific answer, blend your answer with a case, communicate effectively in the briefing note, communication skill box. So I hope you do justice with the 20 professional marks. So this guidance have gone in the March 23 webinar and the mock debrief. Is just a summary, but again, the message is get the most of the 20 professional marks. Alone, the technical marks will not help you pass the paper. You need to improve the quality threshold of your answer. You need to ensure that the checklist which has been guided to you of the 20 professional marks, which I just repeated a few minutes ago, is implemented. Listen to this again, play the recording of this session today and concentrate what needs to be done. I hope you're clear with this. Next, reading requirements carefully. I demonstrated this in the mock debrief and in the webinar again, that how many times we ignore comma and add and we rush and not realizing that one requirement is asking for three things and we think, oh, one. Just today in the mock debrief, we found a requirement, describe the impact on the opinion and the report. And the student just look at the word opinion and ignore report. And he say, oh, examiner is just asking for opinion on the report. And he just do the 50% answer. How critical is to read the requirements? And every day of the webinar and every day of the mock debrief, how much time I used to give on reading the requirements and understanding what the examiner want to be done. Because if you understand the requirement, you will not be using any assumptions. If you understand the requirement, you will not be writing a hypothetical answer. If you understand the requirement, you will be writing a good answer. And the requirements are repetitive in AAA paper. If you have practiced 5 papers, 6 papers, 7 papers, the requirements are the same. There is no change. There is no twist in the requirements of the AAA paper. It's just the case study which is changing. So the requirements remain the same. If the examiner is saying evaluate the significant audit risk, then you have to evaluate the significant audit risk. Prioritize the significant audit risk. You have to prioritize the significant audit risk. Follow the requirements, what the examiner wants, because you can lose marks if you're not following the requirements. If the examiner says evaluate the ethical issues and recommend actions, then write actions for ethical threats, safeguards for ethical threats. So please realistically look into the requirements carefully, read them carefully as I guided you primarily in the mock debrief session 1 and session 2 over the last 2 days. Question number 1, materiality statement. I hope you're all clear on that. I hope you're clear on how to write the materiality statement before you start writing the answer for audit risk and ROB. Now, audit risk and ROB can be in part A, can be in part B. So wherever you start writing the answer for audit risk and ROB, before that, you need to write the materiality statement. You know how to write the materiality statement, right? You know how you find the partner will tell you in the email that I want the materiality to be based upon profit. Then you find the percentage of materiality 5 and 10. And then you choose, should I go with 5%? Should I go with 10%? Or should I take the middle track, 6, 7, 8? And justify your basis. I've given you the justification of basis. Is it the first year audit? Is it the existing audit? Is this an existing audit with number of risk? You can choose 6, you can choose 7, you can choose 8. There's no one right answer. Examiner is very clear in the examiner report that it is not that your materiality should match with examiner materiality. No, because that is examiner judgment and this is your judgment. Examiner is looking at your judgment to reward you the professional marks, not that it should agree with examiner answer in terms of materiality, right? So your conclusion of materiality, you know, materiality statement is worth 3 marks, technical marks, but your judgment in the materiality is also giving you a professional mark, 1 professional mark for exercising the right judgment for materiality. So it's not just the 3 technical marks, it's also professional marks, at least 1 of them. You know how to structure the briefing note. You know how to write a conclusion in the briefing note, where to put the conclusion. As per the new requirements, we are putting conclusion after the significant risk part. So if the question is asking for significant audit risk or significant business risk, we'll put a conclusion after A and B. A, business risk, B, audit risk, and you put a conclusion. In a conclusion, we need to tell what is the definition of significance. What definition of significance has we taken? How have we prioritized the risk? So conclusion is no more written at the end of the briefing note, right? Conclusion is written right after the requirement where you are addressing the significant business risk and audit risk. And you tell in the conclusion that this is the basis of significance which I took in my answer, and that has professional marks of judgment, that has professional marks of communication, because conclusion is part of your communication skill as well, communicating concisely and with clarity. So please ensure you look at the critical aspects of question 1. I hope you're all clear on materiality statement. I hope you're all clear on briefing notes. I hope you're all clear on conclusions, and there is no misunderstandings here. So this is question number 1, which is the first one you will be facing tomorrow. Reporting question is more than picking the right opinion. For I think 90% of the students, they believe, oh, reporting question is just opinion. I need to tell examiner qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion, or an unqualified opinion. Is reporting question only about opinions? Don't you see other things in the reporting question? Don't you see other things, as we saw in the mock debrief today, that discuss the matters with management, individual impact on the financial statements? Don't you see other things like audit report, impact on the audit report, as well as the audit opinion? And a reporting question cannot just be opinions, right? There could be a situation in the case which is giving rise to an MURGC paragraph. There could be a situation in the case which is giving rise to a key audit meta paragraph. There could be a situation in the case which is giving rise to an emphasis of a meta paragraph in the case, not an opinion. So report is not just opinion, right? There are so many things in a reporting question which you need to carefully watch for. If the examiner deliberately used the word opinion, then for sure, it means we are working around opinions only. But if the examiner says opinion at the audit report, then you need to tell the placing of the opinion. You need to tell the position of the opinion, which para comes first, which para comes second, as I did in the mock debrief today. So please carefully read the reporting question, because the student has a mindset that the moment they look at a reporting question in exam, they think, okay, I'll calculate the materiality. I'll tell examiner, is it material? Is it pervasive? And I'll tell a qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion. That is it. You're not doing the proper justice with the reporting question. See the systematic steps I followed in the question 3 of the mock debrief today, how I structured the answer for 6 marks. So you misunderstand a reporting question because you're taking a short definition of a reporting question, and that's putting a bad answer for the examiner. I hope you're clear with this reporting question. It's more than picking the right opinion. Recent articles, that's extremely important. Now, I hope you all have prepared yourself well. And if I can just show you the recent articles where our focus has to be in the next 24 hours. I hope you can see the browser in front of your screen currently. Can you see this web page for AAA technical articles now in front of your screen, all of you? Please confirm it. Okay, great. So the articles where I need the focus to be stronger in the next 24 hours is leave all articles, quality management. I hope you're all clear with the 2 articles for quality management. I hope you've watched my videos on the ISQM part 1 and ISQM part 2. I hope you're clear with the terminology quality management. The exam paper will no more use the terminology quality control. The examined paper will use the term quality management. And I hope you have done the lectures on quality management, and examiner will say evaluate the quality management, not quality control. So you know the components of quality management, you know what exactly happens in the case study. This is an area where you should be very strong at, because these are recent adjustments, and recent adjustments have a very high percentage of coming back in March 23 exams. Go down, look at these 2 articles, planning and audit of historical financial statement, syllabus area D. Look at these 2 articles. I recommended you to read these exam technique articles. How you write a good business risk answer, how you write a good risk of material misstatement and an audit risk answer. If you've not read this article, you still have time to read it. It will just take like 2 hours and you're done with it. But please read this article, as this article is just telling you how you write a good answer. So I would like your time spending here if, again, you have not read it. If you have, then that's perfectly fine. Sit back and relax. So quality management, syllabus area C, 2 articles. Planning and conducting an audit of historical financial statement, the D part. The two articles, the first one, part one and part two. Then you go down, 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 and you come to the stage of other assignments. I hope you're familiar with the other assignments, that it's not just due diligence, it's not just the review of prospective financial information, which is a favorite of examiner. It's not just forensic audit, which is another favorite area of examiner. And it's not just the audit of performance information. You have the new assignment from September 22, which is right here. The assurance on social, environmental, and sustainability information part one, and the assurance of social, environmental, and sustainability information part two. I hope you have read these articles and you have watched my video lecture on this. Is that true? Have you covered this in my regular classes, whether you're taking my webinars or you're taking my regular classes? I hope you've covered this area very effectively. I foresee a question on assurance on social, environmental, and sustainability information somewhat in the March 23 exams. So I just have a high likelihood for these a question on social, environmental, and sustainability information more than PFI or due diligence or forensic. So please don't take a risk, right? Be very sure of the content of this article and be sure of what to be done. I think I've also discussed a question on new ban around this social, environmental, and sustainability information. I hope you agree. We did a question around a new ban company, which is an old question, but was around the subject matter of social, environmental, and sustainability information. Agree, disagree? In the video sessions you must have watched, I did a question on the new ban company around social, environmental, and sustainability information. Okay, thank you for confirming. And that is it. Current issues, no, these are old current issues. I'll just come back to the current issues as a separate topic for my tips today. So how many articles have I recommended you? 2 under the other assignments, that social, environmental, and sustainability information part 1 and part 2. 2 under syllabus area D, which is how to write a good business risk and a ROM answer. And 2 under quality management, ISQM1 and ISQM2. So a total of 6 articles. Just cross-check you're all prepared on these areas, because these are potential areas which could have an impact on your exams tomorrow, because these are recent articles. Okay, then back to the discussion. Recent articles done. That is the list of 6. You just need to cross-check yourself. Have you done 6? Fine. Right? You've not done it, then do them. Current issues. The current issue is already there on your webinars and regular course portal. The current issue I did on the climatical change and the responsibility of the auditor. Yes, you should know that, because there is a potential. Examiner might ask you some sort of auditor responsibilities in the context of the global climatical change becoming a very burning issue these days, and it's been discussed at every levels across United Nations and every levels of the G6 and G7 and G8 summits. A lot of addressing has been done by the global leaders on the global warmings becoming a burning issue. And I believe a question for like 5-6 marks asking for auditor responsibilities around global warmings and environmental conditions can be tested. So this current issue is available right on your portal. This current issue is available on the portal, whether you're taking the full course or you're taking the webinars from me. Is that correct? Have you covered this current issue? Have you all covered this current issue, please? Okay, that's great. Okay, then that brings us to the end of this tips and techniques session. I wish you all a very best of luck for your exams tomorrow. Please ensure the key tips which has been shared with you are productively followed in a robust manner, in a rigorous manner. In the next 24 hours, just self-evaluate yourself for current issues. Just self-evaluate yourself for recent articles. Self-evaluate yourself that reporting question is more than picking the right opinion. Question number 1, materiality statement, briefing note, and conclusion. Self-evaluate yourself for reading requirements carefully. Get the 20 professional marks. Investment in reading and planning time, and taking the time management seriously. See where is the problem for you, and you can spend a bit of more time on it. But primarily, this is a time to sit back, relax, soothe yourself, and just focus on the paper tomorrow, because by this point in time, you must have done everything. So rather than getting into a panic mode, it's the time you should sit back, relax, because I think the mediation of the mind is very important for it to perform in an optimum manner tomorrow. Because if your mind is exhausted, it might not be working in the best of the forms tomorrow. So I think the relaxation, the mediation, and how you soothe your mind is very important for tomorrow. Don't take an over exhausted mind in the exam hall tomorrow. So I wish you all the very best of luck. My well wishes, my prayers are with all of you. I'll be uploading this key tip session on the YouTube channel for the benefit of all and share the link with you shortly. And the mock debrief I did today is exclusively for my registered students. So that gets uploaded on the portal within the next 1 hour. So thank you so much for taking your precious time out, joining this live session. I wish you all the very best of luck. Thank you so much for taking interest in my regular courses and my webinars and joining me as a tutor. It gives me lots of it's so good for me that you have put your trust in me, and I definitely believe that if you've taken the right guidance from me, you will definitely be passing your upcoming exams. So the very best of luck, and I will be waiting for the feedback after your exams are over tomorrow. Once again, wish you all success. Take care. Goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.